Power 7 Podcast. Good morning, good morning. It's your boy, the almighty Nicodemus, back again in full effect. Coming at you on another beautiful, blessed morning, a Tuesday morning to be exact. And today's topic, hip-hop is 50. Got some hip-hop gossip. Not even no gossip. Just, Drake and Joe Budden. Drake's album just came out. Over the weekend. Was it Friday? And then Joe Budden had something to say about it. Now, I'm not either a Joe Budden fan, and I'm really not a Drake fan. Although I do think Drake can rap. So he's not trash as a rapper. But the music he make is mainstream hip-hop music. It's geared towards a younger demographic, so it really doesn't appeal to me. Now, as far as with him and the thing that happened is him and Joe Budden, which I kind of can see both of their points. I can see Drake's irritation because Drake is an artist. So just as an artist, I understand where he's coming from. You know what they say, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my shit. So I kind of can understand Drake's side when Joe Budden says what he says. Now, I get Joe Budden's side as well because what he's saying to Drake is, listen, man, you've made all this money. You're older now. You're not a young artist anymore. And what he's saying, this is what I'm deciphering what he's saying. I could be wrong. He could be saying exactly what he's meaning. And I'm taking from it, it's like, listen, man, you haven't just started in the industry. You know what I mean? You've been in this industry for, almost 15 years. You're not a new artist. You've made money. You've made a lot of money. So why is your musical direction are you still going towards a younger demographic? You shouldn't have to. You should have a position in the industry as right now where you like, hey, I got creative control. I can make what I'm going to make. I don't have to make music for people at a certain age group just so I can sell music or just so it can be out there. And also, it's like, bro, your fans are growing with you. Your fans aren't young anymore. They're older. So I can see his point when he comes off like that, because that's pretty much how I'm looking at it from what he's saying. It's like, you're not even you're in a position where you don't have to do that shit no more. Because a lot of people in the music industry, when they come in and they're signed to a record label, you're going to have to do certain things on your album. There's sometimes where you can do what you want to do, but for the most part, because that industry, like I said, is marketed towards a young demographic, certain shit you're going to have to do. So I think Joe Budden's like, hey, bro, you're 37 now and you've made a whole bunch of money. You're top tier in this motherfucking industry. You're not some guy who just got on, who has to do or comply to a certain way. Now, do I know for sure that, because Drake is still signed to a label, I don't know for sure or not if he has to comply, if he has to do the industry standard anymore, or is that who he is? I don't know. And maybe that is who he is now. And he feel like, hey, bro, I'm making the music about what I'm going through in my experience. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that's why he had the reaction he had. Because he's like, I'm coming from my experience. And maybe he is making what he wants. And maybe he still wants to make, hip music while not losing who he is. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I can understand both sides of an argument. Like I said, hip hop is 50, and since it's turned 50, it's just been really, really negative shit about hip hop all across platforms, man, all across the media, man. You got guys like Juicy J, even Joe Budden again saying like, they're like, Juicy J saying the music isn't selling, the shit is down 40%. I guess Joe Budden saying it's low effort. But my thing is this: 97 into 96, 98, 99, they started putting more money into hip-hop. And when they started putting more money into hip-hop, for those of us who grew up and are a certain age right now, you notice the change in hip-hop. You noticed how the videos changed, how everything started looking real. It started being a certain standard, and it was all the same. And a lot of this started in the late 90s. Like I said, in the 96, 97, 98, 99, and in the 2000, it was just crazy. Everything was predictable. It was people like me saying the same shit about hip-hop. Well, not sales, but just saying the music just missing something. It's not that creative, and complaining about all the videos look the same. Like, it was similar at that time. However, people were still going out. People were still physically buying music at the time. And so it was still making money. Now, my thing is, for everyone that's upset and talking about the music, and I don't care about sales, but you're talking about how the music has low energy and all of that crap. Bro, that shit started in the early 2000s. Starting in the early 2000s, most of these guys are just mimicking most of you guys from the early 2000s who wasn't making a lot of shit with a lot of substance. And that's just my personal opinion. It's not a fact, but I know what heads complained about. But nowadays, because of streaming, that makes things a lot more different. Why sales will be down. It's a generation of kids who've grown up with social media. The way they socialize is through a phone or a computer or a tablet or whatever. It's usually that way, the way they socialize nowadays. Whether or not they're looking at it through a screen or they're a couple of them sitting on a couch doing podcasts talking about shit. It's not really the same type of social interaction. So that will cause sales to go down. That will cause concert sales to go down. All of those things will affect the music and the sales of the music, because you have a generation that didn't go out. Why you think all these older artists that are coming out are still selling out stuff? Because the generation of people that listen to their music and that's rocking with them are in an age group of people who used to physically buy stuff and go out and socialize and still do. That's why you got the generation of kids that don't do that. And that's why music sales are suffering. The way the music was created in the early 2000s, I believe, have a lot to do with the type of music these younger guys are making. Whether you like it or not, to me, that's what I believe. They're influenced by the ones that came before them, and a lot of those people that came before, a lot of these younger artists that they listened to and grew up were artists from the early 2000s who didn't have a lot of substance in their music. They had hard beats and they were screaming. They weren't talking about nothing. But, that's just one man's point, which is mine. Again, it's your boy, the Almighty Nicodemus, Power 7 Podcast. I'm out. Peace.